Hey guys, welcome to 86 Media's podcast. We got Chef Mike over here and your boy Jimmy Eats, and we actually have a special guest today, Chef Vinoy Rogers, on camera with us today too as well.
All the way from Ohio, dude. What is up?
How's it going, my man? Yeah, sitting here at Certified Angus Beef World Headquarters in Worcester, Ohio.
Nice, man. Nice.
I've heard that Florida is the beef capital of the world. Do you think Ohio might be able to take that reign?
For sure. I mean, I think the county I'm in is actually known for. It's actually the largest dairy producer in the state of Ohio, Wayne County, where I'm at. So
Nice.
there's definitely the animals out here. We got some Angus as well, but I would challenge Florida. Man.
Bro, the beef guy, it says it on the label, the beef guy, because we need to coin this. If you guys had a nickname for me, your nickname on this Sushi Master show was definitely beef guy. And so let's talk about that because spoiler alert, we knew each other back in Orlando. I mean, we were friends in Orlando, not on the show.
It was rigged.
It was rigged. Not on the show, but we were friends.
Yeah.
And we'll get to the part where we find out how we were both on the show. But what was the process for you? How did you get on this?
You know what? I'll say this, man. I honestly thought somebody reached out to me, something about social media. Oh, I saw your social, it was good. It started with that. I was under the impression all the way until your ass showed up that it was non-sushi professionals kind of competing in that arena of sushi and Asian cuisine.
Yeah, I want to know. Slow it back down.
Yeah.
What? I want to know this. What was the pitch to you? I know the pitch to me was this is a fusion sushi show with Morimoto. Was that your pitch?
Did not even know it was Morimoto. I was pitched. It was a star chef, a superstar chef, well known. But yes, the fusion. That's kind of where I was like, hey, I can do that. I used to, I used to claim the new American fusion was my style.
Yeah, absolutely. You claimed the omakase, like this kind of fusion omakase thing here in Orlando. It was fantastic, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. But remember, I actually reached out to you shortly after I got a few phone calls and interviews in, and I reached out to you for some sushi help. Remember that?
I didn't know back then when you were asking for help. I was like, oh, okay, you're doing some sushi, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think the day I landed, I was I was contestant one that landed. I love to be first.
Mm-hmm.
Day one landed. I was the first to land in LA. You said you're in a van with a bunch. No, you said I'm in a van with a bunch of guys. And hey, man, I'm doing this competition show for sushi. I need some help. And I'm in a hotel room like, no way, dude. No. Like, I'll help you. And then you're like, no, I'm just BSing you, man. I know you're already on this show. I saw you on the call list. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Use beef in sushi.
Hey, that's it.
Don't even worry about the fish.
No fish.
Yeah. Sure, that was the advice that he gave you.
Yeah, it was crazy. I get on that bus. They picked us up from the airport, and I've done a show before, and I know they give you just enough information, right? They tease you with stuff. They just give you so I'm nosy. I'm trying to see. I see the clipboard on the front seat, and I peer over that seat, and I look on the clipboard, first or second name on there, Michael Calantis. So I was like, even at that moment, I'm just going to be honest. I was like, oh, they got, he's a badass. They got him out. He's probably a guest judge or something like that.
That's what he said to me. I was like, I ain't that guy, man.
Yeah. It was wild. That was wild. Yeah, because a couple years, 2 years ago, we had a meeting / interview, and we were looking to possibly
do a project together.
Join up with your team there. And that was crazy.
Crazy. 2-3 years ago, we were talking about the project. I think we first met at my first restaurant I opened during COVID. It was in a supermarket, and we had a chef meetup. And Vinoy comes in, and he's like, "Oh, I'm shopping, and I want to see this." And I brought out this whole pig head.
Oh, fancy
pig head sisig, whole fried pig head for them. I'm like, "Let's go."
Yeah.
That was a good treat, man. And man, now we're on this show together. But Yeah, I'm sure the fans are gonna want to know, man. How did you start? Where are you from? Give us the whole backstory, bud.
Yeah, sure. So born and raised, I always tell people born and raised in Southern California, Oceanside specifically. I usually say San Diego because not many people have heard of Oceanside. Um, but I grew up in Oklahoma. I grew up in Oklahoma, moved there when I was about 15, lived there for about 17 years. That's where I started my culinary journey. I went to culinary school there in Oklahoma City. My first few jobs were there. That's where I got in touch and was working for my mentor. I got to give him a shout out. Chef Andrew Black just won a James Beard Award, Best Chef Southwest.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But shout out to Chef Black and Grace Sweater out there in Oklahoma City. But I worked for him there, a few other places. Quickly got myself into that hotel resort world, right? Restaurant is where my passion was, right? We love that the pace and all that stuff, the fine dining, the technicality of all that. That drew me. But I found even as a line cook that you can get that in the hotels, right? In the resorts, actually, you can get that and some. So I moved from Oklahoma, went back home to San Diego, worked in La Jolla for a little bit. And what actually happened to me there is I got on with this company called Destination Hotels and Resorts. I was at Estancia La Jolla, and I got on their task force. So if you're familiar, that allowed me, they would ship my butt all over the country to fill in, to join opening teams and all that. So for me, and it being late, this was a second career for me. I was 27 when I enrolled in culinary school.
Really?
Yeah. So, but it gave me
What was your first like go at it? What was your first career?
sales, man. I was in sales. I was selling everything from lawn and garden equipment and Sears to
Cutco knives.
Erica Online and their registrations department which was kind of like sales back when they were offering those free trials. I was selling free trials, but I got caught up with that commission. Commission.
Oh yeah,
we work for
you're in
money.
yeah, Jimmy, you're in sales.
Yeah, man. It's always chasing that dollar.
It's
Yeah.
good life, man. It's
It
good
is.
life.
Yeah, I was making a decent living, but at AOL, they actually announced that they were going to close. They gave us like almost a full year. They gave us like 9 months. They took real good care of us. I do have to say that. I know the company's not as big anymore. It belongs to somebody else, but they took care of the people. And in that time, I was able to make a decision. I was married at that time. I made a decision with my wife that I was going to enroll in culinary school. I was always one of those people, those backyard guys or home holiday things where, people are always, oh, that's so good. Who made that? Whatever. And so, but it really wasn't, it wasn't something that I aspired to be as a kid. I think it was probably in here. I just didn't know. And especially getting into that sales and that commission life, that was going to be what I was going to do forever. I figured I could just continue to move on. Maybe it'd be cars and then who knows what else. But
do you think that sales part, because a lot of chefs don't have that, you have to put yourself out there. Like it's a whole different set of skill set that you guys have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that kind of changed where you've been or trajectory of what, just how far you got and how fast you got there in the field in culinary?
Man, that's crazy, man. Because as good as we know each other, but you didn't know that much about me. I feel like you hit the nail on the head. It definitely helped me. It wasn't a hindrance at all. I always had this chip on my shoulder that I started too late. I get in there and people my age already got, twice as many years in the industry as me and stuff like that. But I think some of that helped out, when you're going out touching tables, when you're even for jobs, selling yourself.
100%.
And me not going through my career even up to this point and not actually ever owning my own place, you got to sell those menus too sometimes. I was fortunate to have a lot of places that were chef driven and they trusted me. But I know for a fact too, like you said, there was some of that experience from that sales world that helped me sell myself, sell my ideas, sell my vision.
Yeah, I stopped cooking for a little bit. I did real estate. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
I did real estate for a bit, and it's just like, you're in the sales industry too, Jim. It's you get a lot of no's, you get a lot of slam doors in your face, and I think it builds grit, it builds character. And as a chef, I think that a lot of chefs, I always say like people should spend some time in the kitchen to see what it is, but also as chefs, you got to be able to sell yourself straight up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ironic because Mike and I were talking about how he was watching The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, and one of the things from a sales aspect that people talk about is having that momentum going, right? So, with sales, you're faced with a lot of grit, and I'm sure within the food industry and the chef world, you're faced with a lot of grit. A lot of people are going to tell you no, or you're just having a bad day, or the dish wasn't made right, or whatever the case may be. But you continue to do it every day. And the whole point of you doing that is so that way you don't lose momentum. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, they didn't make 40, 50 points every single game they played in. There were games where they made, 3 out of 15 shots they did, but they kept shooting. Why? It's because they wanted to continue that momentum.
Yeah.
So with you having that momentum in your back pocket now, what were some of the things that you were able to kind of gain from that, taking your sales aspect and flourishing within the food industry?
Again, man, you guys, I didn't know you were this smart, Michael, by the way.
No, I'm reading a cue card.
The glasses are not even real. They don't even have lenses in them.
I got a guy in the earpiece, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it helps. It helps, everything from even the product knowledge, understanding that if if you have a lot of information, a lot of details about something, you can sell that, and in the kitchen, you got to do that too. You got to do it to your crew. You got to do it to those food and beverage directors, general managers, and the people as well. The good thing about the people or the customers, the guests, is that the proof is actually on the plate. So you can sell it in the sense of the advertising aspect of it, understanding what to put in, what are kind of buzzwords that are going to attract people. But then you're also tasked yourself, with the accountability of showing up and delivering. So like you mentioned, the Jordan and Kobe aspect of just kind of growing to become fearless, right? From those downtimes, from those no's, from those shut doors, you kind of build up a thick skin, and it gives you the ability to kind of just push forward, which I don't have to tell you, Michael, is absolutely necessary in this world.
And the funny thing is, too, I mean, like, that's what I saw when you were on the show, is like product knowledge of, like, I mean, you could look at the pantry, you knew exactly what you were looking for. Your work with beef and different kojis, like, you could hone into just like a concept or, ingredients and like really own it. And to be honest, this was the first time that we worked together in a kitchen. We never actually were able to cook together, so that was I think that was a really fun time for us to be able to just like jam.
So question for you, after speaking with Mike and what was getting his feedback on his experience from the show, and don't believe anything he says. He didn't like any of you guys, but with that said, I mean, what was your experience? What did you like about the show, and tell us a little bit about that.
Man, you know what? This is unfortunate. This is my third opportunity to do a competition on TV. It's surreal for me, man. I am not very sensitive or have a bunch of, but there's certain little things. I'll be honest, man. Even just seeing this guy in Orlando grabbing a In-N-Out before filming and just like kind of having this unspoken brotherhood with somebody. Absolutely. And for me, it was just it took me a day or two to just kind of shake that off. I do have that cheesy quality, and it's inside. I try to hold it in, but just really beside myself. And then when the competition starts and they start feeding you the details, and I'm like, no, this is sushi. I'm like, crap, and then meeting the other contestants. I mean, you got this guy here. I know what he can do, like I've tasted his food. You say in a grocery store or whatever, come on, I know what you could do. And then to hear the backgrounds of some of the other ones, it was intimidating.
Oh, even for me, it's like it's so intimidating. Like they were really strong competitors for sure on all levels. Even like Vinoy or guys who didn't know sushi, freaking just crafty, make it through. Yeah,
and I think everybody, right, as we went through, and because we hung out quite a bit. Everybody had some TV show experience, at least I believe. Everybody, maybe with the exception of one of us in that crew, and some multiple 2 and 3, 4 different shows. So But overall, man, it was great. There was highs, there was lows. I'm telling you, these guys were trying. They almost I almost didn't make it back from Burbank. The pass was on my neck. Again, I don't know how to play out on the final show, but they wanted to kill me. And
we'll be able to share. I mean, if they don't show it on TV,
yeah.
we'll definitely have to share the backstories because there's a. I mean,
Yeah.
there was drama. There was drama. I mean, there's always drama.
Hey, I was afraid Mike was gonna like stab me or something at one point.
I got super competitive, man.
He did bring his sharpest knives with him that week.
Yeah. So I got.
But no, man,
competitive.
to see when you're sitting in this green room, and this guy, you look over and this guy is doing push-ups and then taking notes in between like sets of 5 push-ups. You know what I mean? You're like, holy cow! You're trying to be, grown man, but inside you're like, damn, this motherfucker's serious. You're like, holy cow, 5 pages of notes. He done pumped out like 50, 75 push-ups, writing notes in between. I'm like, geez, Louise. Then you got some that would sit over in the corner. You know what I'm talking about, would sit over in the corner, headphones and not talking. You're like, wow, these guys are real deal.
I'm glad that he didn't bring it too intense because he even called me and asked me if he should pop an Alka-Seltzer in his mouth and let him start foaming at the mouth. Like little giants.
No, and for me that was like all anxious energy. Like there were guys who you had to be a good chef, but also be a good TV personality and understand that role.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
For me, I think I came in with like very little TV experience too.
Intensity though.
Oh yeah, but intensity, but you know how to play TV. It's a completely different thing. Yeah.
You have your skill set. You're going to showcase that, but at the same time, you also want to be able to show your personality and be able to help with the ratings, right? Because
it's tough though when you start cooking, right? And then you're going to be compared. You kind of lose that if you don't have training or that's not something you do all the time. And you go into just Chef Michael was intense. And then I don't know if you were doing this, dude, out of the kindness of your heart or what, but look, we would finish a challenge or what have you, and this guy starts making sushi for the crew. Like, look, I got a backup here, and it's
trying to butter him up.
It's just like this is another day at the office. After a while, you start to feel like it's another day at the office.
It messes with you a little bit. You put this bite of nigiri in your mouth, you're like, damn. It's all right, Chef. Nice job, Chef. And you're like, but super. I did feed off of your intensity, Mike. It knocked me back in when I got a little bit too much. Like, oh, I'm here on the show and this is fun. And when you see that intensity, I know I sometimes can be a little too playful and stuff like that, and it knocked me right into line, man.
Yeah, there's some times, man. I was like, dang, man, I don't know if. Everybody was quite. I mean, you're in that scenario. You're everything runs through your head. Am I good enough? Is it enough time? Is you're questioning everything, man. And then you've got producers all over the place, kind of like running. So that was hard for me. It's like they're asking me questions like, "Don't talk, must cook." No, like 0%. I had
more choppy, no talkie.
Yeah, like, get away from me. I was like that.
I can tell you from the first show I ever did, I literally ran from him. I literally ran. If you watched it today, you could see me at a blender peeking over as Ann Burrell is talking. As soon as she left him, boom, gone to the walk-in. I couldn't do it.
How was this experience different from the other? Obviously, I know for a lot we talked about it. From the cast, like, we were filming for a long time. This was a long time filming, but like, how was the experience now? Maybe too with the difference in like your age, your experience now, but how did you feel for just the actual TV show competition side of it?
That was the first thing. Is obviously it was longer. The last couple ones I did, they were a single episode, day and a half, 2 days max. I mean, 2 weeks plus. We were out there, and knowing that it was a series, that was different. I mean, that even changes the game plan, right? Because you don't need to win to continue to move forward. You just got to not lose, so that's a big difference too.
Huge on strategy for sure.
Right. Yeah. It's huge on strategy.
Then not putting everything out on the first challenge, not putting all your cards on the first challenge. You got to be strategic with it. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So that was the biggest thing. But the production itself, in a sound stage like that, you walk in there and you look around and there's just equipment everywhere. It's different. The last 2 times, one I filmed, it was in a parking lot, and then the other was in a restaurant. This was just like we arrived at this big giant building.
It was like a real deal studio.
Yeah, real studio, real. The set. Remember seeing the set for the first? I think we walked around that place at least the first day, and they had it completely blocked off where you could just see like through the cracks, like the lights. And then the first, as a matter of fact, Michael, correct me if I'm wrong. All of our reaction actually is legit. First time we saw when we walked in,
to make sure that when we walk in, it was like the real deal. Because even when we're walking around set to get to like the green room where it's where like we're all staying, they're like, don't look over here. They made sure that we were very, so that it's like the initial, and it was a beautiful set. I mean, I don't know, it was gorgeous. And then it's like, I think when was the most like real, like for me, the real was you see Morimoto walking out. It's full, like, I mean, he had like a custom kimono every single time, and Kenji and Erica, and you're like, okay, this is happening.
Yeah.
What about for you, Vinoy? Was like that moment where it's like, was it the airport, or was it like seeing the actual space, or the first challenge? What was it for you?
Yeah, I think for me it'd probably be when that clock started, right?
Okay.
When that clock started, you're like, boom, you go, you can't stop. I do know that much. I've never been, and I haven't done that, just a couple other shows, but I've never seen the clock stop once it started. No matter what happened, I've seen people trip, cameras fall over. They start that clock, you keep going. So for me, that was when it was like, all right, Benoit, let's go.
Yeah.
What would you say was probably the biggest thing that you learned from this whole experience that you'll be able to take with you to kind of help further expand your career?
I mean, after finding out that you weigh the sushi rice and the vinegar, I mean, honestly, you know what I can say food wise though, just that kind of base of the rice wine vinegar, kind of sugar, soy, salt kind of thing, that I didn't realize that was a base for so much. I knew it was a base. So that was one thing culinarily that I learned, and I've used it already. Start out with that. I can go on a spicy route. I can end up, putting, mixing that with a stock, even a beef stock. I've done it, and you get all these, it's just kind of a blank palette that sushi rice seasoning, not exactly, but you know what I mean, Michael, that base.
I mean, when you went on the show, dude, I mean, you were like, you crammed years of just trying to learn as much. I mean, you were telling me things. I'm like, how do you know that? Like, wait a minute. You shouldn't know these things. Like, it took me years to like figure out. And you're like, hey, so when you're making, I'm like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah, I had to study a little bit. Cram right before I did some fish butchery. Made some rolls for my girls at home, night after night, up to the point where they're like, Dad, it's enough. It's enough with this. But
where's the beef?
I think I can't say it really. We'll have to talk off camera, or actually, you know what? You have me back and ask me that question again.
Yes,
because my answer would possibly give away, but I can. I definitely got a solid answer.
We can't give away too much right now. We want to have you back on, man. Where do you think your future is now? I mean, you think you do more shows? Has this like fueled you to say, I want to do more competition shows? Maybe not sushi, but other, TV gets a bad rap. Some of these shows out there, I don't know if I would do it. It's, but, where do you feel like you jump back on TV? You like it?
Yeah, I would. For one, I gotta work on that record, if you will. But I enjoy it. I feel like I could still do it. I haven't lost a step. But I would be, if somebody reached out tomorrow, I'd be ready to go. And then I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed for being somebody that doesn't own his own place. My company. They would let me fly again if it was if the opportunity presented itself. So that's huge. That's huge.
If you could do one other show that's out now,
Mhm.
I know it's gonna be Cupcake Wars, but
Or nailed it.
nail it. What is your ultimate? Like, if you like,
Yeah.
get me on this.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Full send. It's Top Chef time. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's Top Chef time. To get out. I've played with the show that I originally did. I did one of the kind of gimmicky shows in the supermarket stakeout. The other two, Sushi Master and the first one I did, those are real just head-to-head competition. I will say nothing bad against those 4 chefs that I competed against in 2013, but the level on that show wasn't there. This is the first like kind of high level.
Right.
Just cooking. None of the last one was fun, but it was gimmicky. You could run out of money or get the grocery bag with the wrong stuff in it.
This is scale on scale.
Yeah, skill on skill. So
Skill on
I'm
skill.
ready. I'm ready, man. Get me on. Let me get on one of the top chefs and make a
Well,
run.
We're gonna do some events around
Yeah.
around the country. I mean, we've already talked about. I'm gonna go to your spot. You're gonna come out here. We gotta do a homecoming. I mean, literally, you were in
Right.
Orlando for a minute.
I was.
Cooking and doing. I mean, really doing some interesting stuff out there, making a name for yourself, man. So there's a lot of Orlando folks that are gonna be rooting for you, man. Yeah.
Cool. Definitely,
Cool,
man. We
man.
got to make it happen. We'll get you out here to the sticks, to the world headquarters of Certified Angus Beef. It's a great time, man. We got the farm. I run our culinary center here. I'm the executive chef here at the culinary center, and this is where we do. Well, we bring guys like you. We don't really need to do too much ideation or give you guys ideas. We still do. We'll sprinkle them into the program, but what we would do, along with everything else that's involved in the day or two that you spend out here, is feed you some good stuff. It's just obviously circled around, focused around beef.
So, June 16, air date. Where are you gonna be? What are you gonna do?
Again, got to shout out Certified Angus Beef. They are going to send me to New York. So I'm gonna go hang out with Chef Eric. I believe it's at 317 Main Street. We'll be there for the premiere. My company will do one the following Monday here at work. I'm gonna make some sushi for everybody, and
All right.
they'll fire the show up then, and then like I said, we'll start getting down. I actually also will be doing a dinner with Chef Eric already, September. Yeah,
Wow.
September. This
Dude,
will be
that's awesome, man.
this will be a charity dinner that I believe he's been doing for a number of years. He's going to grab a couple other contestants from, if you've heard of that show, Pressure Cooker.
Okay, yeah.
He's got the winner, Chef Robbie, and then he's got Chef Ed Porter, myself, and him that'll be coming together for this charity dinner for Olivia's Hope at one of his spots.
Legit, man.
Pretty cool.
Well, thanks for coming by, man. There's a reason why I'm not invited to any of these shows. Maybe I didn't play so nice on this show. Maybe. I was.
We don't need that guy doing push-ups over here.
You
No, dude.
got the same invite I did on our little group chat, so yeah.
Well, fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have you back. Hopefully, we'll do an episode by episode. Leave a comment below if you want us to do an episode by episode. Hear all the nitty gritty and
Dirty details.
dirty details of what went down in the stew room, in the green room.
Oh my
Vinoy Rogers, Certified Angus Beef, Jimmy Eats.
Jimmy Eats. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure out the
as it
nickname.
progresses.
Yeah.
No
All right.
world. You dropped the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Jimmy Eats the universe, because I'll eat anything.
I like that. Step
There
up,
you
CJ.
The world's good one too.
Young man. I love it.
Dude, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. We'll
Thank
connect soon, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.
All right. Take care, boys.
Sounds
Later,
good.
boy.
Bye.